Yeah. So we are starting with the new module today, that is decision theory, module 4. So as you can see on your screen, operations research, module 4, decision theory. So what is decision theory? So decision theory analysis is an analytical approach of comparing decision alternatives in terms of expected returns or expected losses. Okay, so here what we are having is we are having a set of alternative for a particular problem. Okay, so like multiple solutions for a problem, as we say. Okay, like for example, you want to come to college from your home. So what are the different alternatives available to you? Okay, one is walking, second one take a bus, third one take a cycle, fourth one you are having your own vehicle. Okay, again there are two, one is two wheeler or four wheeler. So these are some of the alternatives, or taking a share auto, share rickshaw or whatever. So these are some of the alternatives. Okay, now based on these alternatives, based on your present condition, okay, you need to choose one of the alternatives, right? So that is what they are telling you. Decision analysis is an analytical approach of comparing decision alternatives. So analytical approach in the sense there is some numbers involved. Okay, so in what terms the numbers are involved? In terms of expected returns or expected losses. So will I am getting a more benefit somewhere or more loss? Okay, so this is what is called as a decision theory, a set of alternatives that are available for you. So we are basically analyzing those in terms of expected returns or expected losses. So this is called as a decision theory. A rational decision maker will always try to maximize the expected returns and minimize the expected losses. So it's a general conception of all, right? Or whatever we are looking at in general is to minimize the losses and maximize the profits or returns, in this case what we are saying. So a rational decision maker will always try to maximize the expected returns. Okay, you are expecting something, okay, in return, right? So you are in profit, so I want to make maximum profit and minimum losses. So that is what they are saying, maximum expected returns and minimize expected losses. So if you think you are having some loss, okay, so for example, if you have put some money in your uh, trading account, or you are basically trading into share market. So at this time, what will be your main motto here? To maximize the profits and minimize the losses. Okay, here both could happen, in the sense we are trying to minimize the loss. Sometimes it goes into loss. So we have a stop loss put in place. That means we are stopping the loss. We don't want more losses. So this is, we are minimizing the expected losses. And at times what we say, okay, wait for some time, let the profits go high, let the profit go high. So this is what is, we are trying to maximize the expected returns. Okay, so this is the decision theory for you. Next, terminologies used in decision theory. There are some terminologies, understand this carefully. Okay, so decision alternatives. What are decision alternatives? There are finite number of decision alternatives available to decision maker at each point of time when that decision is taken. These alternatives could be qualitative or quantitative. So what we are saying here, again, my example of you coming to the college. Okay, what are the different alternatives I told you? Okay, one is walking, okay, cycle, then your own vehicle. Again, two types in your own vehicle, whether it is two wheeler or four wheeler. Okay, or taking a bus or taking a shared auto. Right. So these are the alternatives. Now, again, in what way we are looking at? We are looking at the quantitative or qualitative. See here, quantitative or qualitative. So quantitative, in the terms we call it as in numbers. So how much have you to pay? Okay, whether if you are walking, you need not pay anything. If you are cycling, you need not pay anything, unless you are having a cycle which is on rent. So you need to pay that rent only. Okay, but if you come by your own vehicle, okay, your two wheeler or four wheeler, you need some gas for it, right? Gas in the sense petrol, diesel, charging, if you are having an electric vehicle or whatever. So that is the amount that you need to pay in terms of quantitativeness. Okay, so or in terms of share auto, you need to pay the person, right? So these all are the quantitative ones. So what is qualitative ones? So qualitative in the sense, if you're having your own vehicle, you can start at any moment of time, right, from your home. In the sense, just before your class, like you need to see the distance, how far it is from the college to your home. Then you will start accordingly, like 15 minutes early or 30 minutes early or 45 minutes early. So if you are having your own vehicle, you are having that particular qualitative thing. So you can start anytime you want. Okay, but if you are looking at a thing where you need to catch a auto, okay, or you need to come by a particular bus, so you need to be waiting there whenever the bus comes or that particular share auto comes, right? So this is what is qualitative. So here we cannot put it into quantitative, that is in numbers. Okay, only the time we can put, like how far back you need to come and stand, or how far we can start from home itself if you are having your own vehicle. Okay, so qualitative we cannot measure in terms of numbers. So how comfortable are you coming? Like for example, if you want to come by a bus or a share auto, so you need to get up early. Okay, because share auto or bus takes more time than your own vehicle, because more stops are there. It will stop at the alternative bus stops or all the bus stops wherever, or if somebody shows a hand to stop, so those people stop basically. So if you have your own vehicle, so it is faster for you. Okay, so you'll reach at a lesser time. Okay, you take a less time in general to reach the college from your house or wherever you are starting, right? So this thing you need to take into consideration. So qualitativeness comes here. So you need to get up early, you need to uh, get ready as soon as possible and be there at the pickup point. Okay, be there at the pickup point or be there at the place of like a bus stop or somewhere. Okay, so you need to be there at the right time, otherwise you are going to miss that particular bus or that particular share auto. Okay, so this is what we need to take into consideration, so quantitativeness as well as the qualitativeness. So usually we take the quantitativeness here because in the decision making, the qualitativeness is very rarely taken into consideration because we are looking into profits and loss in terms of numbers. Okay, so this is decision alternative. Then comes the states of nature. So what is a state of nature? A state of nature is an event or a scenario. Okay, it's an event or a scenario which is not in the control of decision maker. So this is very much important. So I'll just underline this, which is not in the control of decision maker. So this is very much important. It's a state of nature is an event or a scenario which is not in the control of decision maker. For instance, it could be a state of economy. E is not there, so it could be, it's E, I think A. It could be a state of economy, a weather condition, political development, etc. So you cannot have a particular what you call control over this. Okay, so if there is too much of economy, if it is very high or very good, so the what you call the infrastructure facilities are good, good roads are there. Okay, good vehicles are there, there are too many buses that are running. Okay, you can afford your own vehicle. So this comes under the state of economy. Then weather condition. So do you have any control over weather? So can you stop rain, or can you say always there should be light, or always there should be sun? Okay, we cannot have that control with us. So the decision maker will not have any what you call control over the environmental conditions, right, or the weather conditions. Next comes political development. Okay, so very rarely we have any control over the political development. Suddenly a new rule comes, okay, stating that, okay, so helmet was compulsory. Before that it was not there. So they used to say wear it, but suddenly there was a rule which said that now wearing helmet is compulsory. So if you go to metropolitan cities, even the pillion rider, the person who rides at the back, even he has to wear. Okay, in our place it's not there, that only one person, that is the rider, has to wear the helmet. But in metropolitan cities and all, if you see the pillion, the person who sits at the back of the rider, even he has to, or she has to wear the helmet. Okay, so that is directly given by the government now. So political development it is. We cannot have a control over that particular political development, right? So that is what is a state of nature. The states of nature may be identified through scenario analysis, where a section of people are interviewed. Okay, historical happenings are identified and future states of nature are predicted. Okay, so we can say it may happen, it may not happen, this may come, that may come. So we talk like this, right? So for example, petrol prices may go further high. Some people say it is at all-time high, it may go down. Okay, so we are just saying that it may or it will. We cannot say that certainly that this will happen. Okay, this may happen. We are always uncertain. So based on that's what they are saying here. So based on the interview above of some people, so it could be the economists or it could be the finance minister, it could be someone who is a decision maker. Basically, we can interview them and we can make sure, or we can come to a conclusion, or we can come to a state where we can say that okay, whether the prices of the fuel are increasing or decreasing, or are they going to remain same. Okay, so then historical happenings. So if something happens, so what will be the result of that particular thing? Okay, so these are historical happenings. Like for example, if a particular election is there, okay, who are the parties who are there, and based on the historical things, like for example, how much of work has been done by the present party, okay, or the people are having the mindset of changing the government. Okay, so based on this particular historical happenings, further steps will be taken. A decision will be made, like how to campaign, where to campaign, who would be the person who is standing for the election from that particular place, or something like that. So these are the historical happenings which are taken into considerations for taking the decision or to finding out the states of nature, right? For example, for the political party, so if there is a person, okay, if there is a person who is a favorite, so it is very difficult for the other party, that is in the sense the opposition party. For example, if I am taking particular party as a consideration, so the other party, the opposite party, so for them it is very difficult to change the mindset of the people. It needs a very longer period of time. Okay, so that is what we are saying by historical happenings, or by taking the interviews. Just an example we are giving, by taking the interviews of certain people, we can identify the future states of nature, what could be happening in future, whether the petrol prices or the fuel prices are increasing or decreasing. Okay, so for example, in the coming election, who would be the or which party would be the party which would be winning or losing. So even that could be seen here. Okay, the list of states of nature need to be collectively exhaustive. This is very much important. I will double underline this. Okay, so what we are saying is collectively exhaustive in the sense, so it's kind of alternatives. Okay, so it should be exhaustive, it should be in numbered. Okay, there should be a finite number. What we are saying, collectively exhaustive, taken everything together, it should be exhaustive, it should get over. Like for example, okay, petrol prices increases or decreases, so there are only two alternatives, up or down, or you can take the third one, it remains the same. Okay, up, down, or remains the same. So government is coming into power, it may take a particular decision, may not take a particular decision. Okay, so if not, it remains the same. If yes, there would be some changes. So these are collectively exhaustive, so they should stop. Okay, there should not be anything infinite. We cannot say there are infinite alternatives, or there are infinite states of nature. It should not be what you call, it should not be in infinity, it should not go to infinity. There should be a finite number of states of nature. So that's why it is called as collectively exhaustive. Exhaustive in the sense it will get over. Okay, after a certain period of time it will get over. So if I am taking a particular decision, okay, if I want to take a particular decision, I'm looking for alternatives. I'll start with 1, then 2, then 3, then 4. It will not go up to infinity. It should be like it should end somewhere. Okay, the alternative should end somewhere. It should be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever. So but it should end, it should be exhaustive, it should be collectively exhaustive. That is what this particular term means. So now whatever we saw, decision alternatives, whatever decision, different things are there, different alternatives are there, those are called as decision alternatives. And states of nature, it is an event or a scenario which is not under the control of decision maker. Okay, and these states of nature should be collectively exhaustive, they should get over, or there should be a finite number of states of nature should be available. Okay, then comes payoff. So what is payoffs? Payoffs means it is a numerical value obtained due to application of each possible combination of decision alternatives. So it is a numerical value obtained due to application of each possible combination of decision alternatives and states of nature. The payoff values are always conditional and they will depend upon the states of nature. Okay, what they are telling here, payoff is basically, for like, for example, for a particular work to be done, you are paying something. Okay, the person who is taking it, he is gaining, right? So we are paying off a particular thing to be done. Okay, in general, if you take, so someone is buying something and someone is selling, so the buyer will give some money, okay, to buy that particular thing. So this is an payoff. It is a numerical value obtained due to the application of each possible combination. So there are different combinations, like for example, if you see here in this particular uh, matrix I have given, or in this particular table I have given, there are different states of nature. There are states of nature P, Q and R are the different states of nature. Then we are having decision alternatives. We are having A, B and C as decision alternatives. Based on this, like for example A, so if I am saying this is as A11, just as an example, I'll take this as A11. So this is a cell. This is a kind of numbering we call this as A11, means this is A, this is particular 11. First one is for row and the second one is for column. So what I am doing, first I am taking first row and first column. So this is this particular cell. Okay, this is this particular cell. This is A11. If I call this as A11, so this is combination of A and P. Okay, this is a combination of A and P. So this particular cell will give me a combination of A and P. So this is based on the decision alternative of A and a state of nature of P. Okay, then this P, this small p is the probability. The probability of happening will be given here. These three zeros or these three O's, what are they are stating? They are stating what would be the probability of happening of PA, PB and PC. So that is the probability. Then if I go to Q, then there is one more O here. So what would be the probability of QA, QB and QC? Okay, and the last one here, RA, RB and RC. What are the probability of this? Okay, then these are the payoffs. So A11. So here if I say what would be this one, this would be A12, because this is the first row and second column. This is A12. So whatever the number or whatever the value I'll be getting here in place of this O, so this would be my payoff. This is called as a payoff. Okay, so I'll draw a bigger outline here. So whatever this particular big square or a rectangle I have drawn here, so the values under these are called as payoff. So this is what is written here. This is a payoff. So this O is a payoff. These all O's, whichever I am marking now, I'll mark around those. So these all are payoffs. Okay. And the top ones are ABC are the decision alternatives and PQR are the states of nature. So these payoffs will be there with respect to the decision alternatives and the states of nature. Okay, so this you will be understanding much more when we are going for a particular problem, solving a particular problem. Okay, but now what you need to understand, what is a payoff? This is a profit or a loss, basically in terms of number. Okay, it is written here. So based on P and based on A, the decision alternative, I am getting this one. Like for example, you are having three investments. Okay, investment A, investment B and investment C. Alternatives I am saying, decision alternative A, alternative B and alternative C. Okay, so like for example, this you are putting in a bank. I will put B here. So you are putting in bank. Here you are putting in mutual funds. I will put MF. Okay, mutual funds. And this you are putting in stock market. SM I will put stock market. So these are the three alternatives, right? So states of nature, it could be anything, like it could be like this year, it could be in terms of year 1, year 2 and year 3. Okay, based on this particular years, what is the probability of I am putting in one in bank and I am getting a certain amount here back. So this is the payoff. Okay, and for second one, if I am putting in mutual funds, okay, P1 at the first year, what would be the returns that I would generate here? So this is the second one and the third one and so on. So these are the different payoffs. Okay, so this is a payoff where it is conditional, always, which depends on the decision alternatives and the states of nature. Okay, so these are payoffs. Next, coming to steps in decision making. Take this down. I'll just dictate you, then I'll explain what we are doing here. So there are 6 steps. So write down steps in decision making. I don't know whether you have taken these down or no, but even this you had to take down. Okay, from first I'll start, then we'll go there. So decision theory, you can take decision theory. What is decision theory? Take down decision theory. Decision analysis. Decision analysis is an analytical approach. Decision analysis is an analytical approach. Decision analysis is an analytical approach of comparing decision alternatives of comparing decision alternatives in terms of expected returns in terms of expected returns or expected losses. Alternatives in terms of expected returns or expected losses. Next para, you can write a rational decision maker, a rational decision maker, a rational decision maker will always try to, will always try to, will always try to maximize expected returns, maximize expected returns and and minimize expected losses and minimize expected losses. And minimize expected losses. Okay, this is decision theory. Leave a line and write terminologies used in decision theory. Terminologies used in decision theory. So first one, decision alternatives. Decision alternatives. There are finite number of decision alternatives. There are finite number of decision alternatives. There are finite number of decision alternatives available to decision maker, available to decision maker at each point of time, available to decision maker at each point of time, at each point of time when the decision is taken, when the decision is taken. Full stop. These alternatives could be, these alternatives could be quantitative or qualitative. These alternatives could be, these alternatives could be quantitative or qualitative. These alternatives could be quantitative or qualitative. Second one, states of nature. States of nature. A state of nature is an event. A state of nature is an event or scenario. A state of nature is an event or scenario, 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 which is not in the control of decision maker, which is not, which is not in the control of decision maker, which is not in the control of decision maker, comma. For instance, for instance, it could be, it could be state of economy, it could be state of economy, comma, a weather condition, a weather condition, comma, political development, etc. Full stop. The states of nature may be, the states of nature may be identified through, The states of nature may be identified through scenario analysis, scenario analysis, where where a section of people are interviewed, where a section of people a section of people are interviewed, comma, historical happenings are identified, historical happenings are identified, and and future states of nature and future states of nature are predicted, and future states of nature are predicted. Full stop. The list of states of nature, the list of states of nature, the list of states of nature need to be need to be collectively exhaustive, need to be collectively exhaustive. Full stop. Next one, payoffs, payoffs, payoffs. It is a numerical value, it is a numerical value obtained due to, it is a numerical value obtained due to application, it is a numerical value obtained due to application of, due to application of each possible combination, of each possible combination of decision alternatives, of decision alternatives and decision alternatives and states of nature, and states of nature. Full stop. The payoff values are, the payoff values are always conditional, the payoff values are always conditional, always conditional, and they depend upon, and they depend upon the states of nature, and they depend upon the states of nature, and they depend upon the states of nature. Take down this particular tabular column. So here I can give you one more example in this particular states of nature and decision alternatives. For example, take weather. Weather is a state of nature which we cannot control. Okay, this is weather. P means it is sunny, Q is it is raining, and R it is very cold. Okay, so what will be the alternatives that you have? One, to walk. Okay, two, to take a bike, and three, to take a car. Okay, so these all are like in my purview. These are the alternatives given to me. I can walk, I can take a bike, or I can go, I can take a car basically. So based on these alternative states of nature, and these are the probabilities of happening of these particular states of nature. Okay, so what is the alternative? Like for example, it is raining. Will you walk? If it is very near, yes, I'll take a raincoat or I'll take an umbrella and I'll walk. So to take a bike, okay, it might be like if it is heavily raining, you might not take a bike. Okay, rarely you take a bike, or you will take a car. Okay, like for example, if it is raining. So if it is sunny, you can do anything. You can take a car. Okay, usually you will avoid car most of the times. If it is sunny, we naturally tend to walk, or we naturally tend to take a bike. Okay, if it is near, I am saying you take a walk. Otherwise, it would be car or a bike. So if it is winter, if it is very cold, okay, you would like to be covered. So the chances of you taking a car is more in winter and rainy than in summer. Right. So this is how we can give an example, a decision alternative. So by doing so, what would be the losses or gains? So that is given to you in the payoffs. Okay, so that is a payoff. Right, I think you have taken down this particular tabular column. Is it over? Yes, students?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I'll go ahead. So steps in decision making, take down this. So I'll first give you, I'll dictate all of this, then I'll explain what is it. Okay, steps in decision making. So first one, steps in decision making. First one, define and identify the problem. Define and identify the problem. Define and identify the problem. Second one, formulate the decision making problem. Formulate, formulate the decision making problem. Formulate the decision making problem in mathematical terms. In mathematical terms. In mathematical terms. Third one, list list all the possible states of nature. List all the possible states of nature. List all the possible states of nature which are most likely to occur. Which are most likely to occur. Full stop. This list has to be exhaustive. This list has to be exhaustive. EXHAUSTIVE, exhaustive. This list has to be exhaustive. Full stop. Next one, number 4. Identify, identify all the courses of action. Identify all the courses of action. Identify all the courses of action available to the decision maker. Identify all the courses of action available to the decision maker. Okay. Then number 5, find out payoffs. Find out payoffs corresponding to, find out payoffs corresponding to the respective state of nature. Find out payoffs corresponding to, find out payoffs corresponding to the respective state of nature. Corresponding to the respective state of nature and decision alternatives. And decision alternatives. Full stop. Apply an appropriate decision theory. Apply an appropriate decision theory. Apply an appropriate decision theory to take the respective, apply an appropriate decision theory to take the respective, to take the respective slash or bar correct decision, take the respective bar correct decision which maximizes the available payoffs, which maximizes the available payoffs. Okay, last one I'll repeat again. Apply an appropriate decision theory to take the respective bar correct decision which maximizes the available payoffs. Okay, now I'll just briefly explain you what are these. Okay, so first define and identify the problem. So in the example, just what I gave you, I would like to take the same example, okay, so that you will understand better. So define and identify the problem. So what is the problem here? You need to come from your home or wherever you are to the college. So this is the problem. Okay, so we are defining that I am coming from my state of residence to college. So this is my problem. So I have defined it now, and I have identified that what is the problem. I need to be going to the college. So formulate the decision making problem in mathematical terms. So what is mathematical terms? Like I gave you different alternatives. Okay, so this comes later. Okay, so because we are not taking anything into consideration, like anything quantitative, so that comes later. Okay, so we are trying to formulate a decision making problem now in terms of mathematical terms. So there should be some numbers. Till now we have not reached there. Okay, in terms of numbers, we need to make a particular decision formula problem, or we need to formulate it. So now what we need to do? We need to list all the possible states of nature which are most likely to occur. Okay, and this has to be exhaustive. So in the case for you to come from your state of residence to the college, so what are these states of nature? I just gave you about environmental thing or about the weather. So whether it is rainy, whether it is sunny, or it is cold. So these three can occur simultaneously. Okay, so there could be some sun. Okay, and it could be a rainy season, so at that particular time there could be sun coming out, then it could be cold. Okay, all the three could be there, or any one of this could be there, like it could be rainy, it could be sunny, or it could be cold. Okay, there is no rain now, there is no sun, but it is cold. Okay, the rain has already come and gone, but there is cold wind that is blowing. Okay, so those are your states of nature. That is, in this case it is P, Q and R, states of nature. These are exhaustive. I have taken only 3. I might take another 2. It could be very windy. Okay, heavy winds could be there, like if you might have come across while a cyclone was there, so there was a lot of wind that was blowing. Okay, so it was very cold as well. Okay, so I could take it as PQRS also. Okay, so but I'm taking only 3. So I what I mean here is it should be exhaustive. It could be anything, but it should end at a particular moment of time. Okay, after a particular moment of time I'm taking. Okay, then what is the next step? So identify all the courses of actions available to the decision maker. That means I'm saying A, B, and C, or I could go to D, E, and F also. Like if I want more alternatives, like I gave you, like you are walking, you are taking a bike, or taking your car. If you don't have it, somebody has taken, or somebody wants at home, they want to go somewhere, so they'll ask you to go by some other alternative. So what you do? The other alternative would be taking a bus. Okay, taking a what do you call, a rickshaw. Okay, then one more alternative could be there. You are calling your friend and you are asking him or her to pick you. Okay, today you can pick and drop me. Okay, so that a particular bike or my vehicle that is there is being used by some other member of the family. So these are the alternatives. Okay, that is what identify the course of action. So these are the course of actions available to the decision maker. Now, okay, now find out payoffs corresponding to the respective state of nature and decision alternatives. So what is my cost of doing this, or what will I gain? Okay, so this is one of the situation where cost is involved. Okay, like for example, if I take a bike, so depending upon how far the college is from your place, you need to put that much of uh, fuel, right? Okay, so if you're taking a bike, it would be petrol. So now petrol, it is around 102 or 103 rupees per liter. So if it is even 2 or 3 kilometers also, a part of that petrol should be there. Okay, to for you to travel from your place to the college. Okay, so that is what is payoff. So how much it is you need to write over there. So if you are taking a bus, what would be the ticket price? You need to write that. That much you need to pay. Okay. So if you are taking a share auto or an auto, normal auto, full auto for yourself, so what would be? You need to pay some price, right? So you need to put that price over there. Okay. So if you are taking, if you are asking your friend to pick, if you are having an arrangement that if you pick so many times a month or so, I'll be paying you so much. You need to put it there. Or if it is just like friendly, if he or she is ready to pick you from somewhere and drop you somewhere, so the payoff would be 0 over there. You should be writing it 0. Okay, so that's how we need to make this particular matrix. This particular matrix should be full here. So if it is like, for example, A, if I'm taking my bike and it is rainy, okay, if it is rainy, P is rainy if I take, so how much I need to put the petrol price here? So I need to put it here. Okay, so by chance, if it is changing, okay, the petrol price may change, right? So if you want to change it, then these particular things will change. So if even if it is sunny, and if you are taking excuse me, it is sunny and taking your bike, even it will cost you the same, the payoff will be the same. Okay, so in the example you'll get to know like different payoffs could be there for different states of nature and for different decision alternatives. So just I am giving you an example where you can understand what are these basically. Okay, then finding out payoffs, and we have written then apply an appropriate decision theory to take the respective or correct decision which maximizes the available payoffs. That means here why they are saying maximizes here, in my example it is cost, so I need to minimize the cost. But if some profits is given by doing something, you are gaining some amount, okay, or you are into profits, so that I need to maximize. So there are different alternatives given to you. So as a general human tendency, I want to increase my profits and decrease my losses. So these are the different steps. First, identify the problem. Then the problem should be formulated in terms of mathematical terms. Then what are the different states of nature, and they needs to be exhaustive. Those need to be put in one place. Then comes what are the different alternatives. Then based on the states of nature and the alternatives, there would be some payoffs. Okay, and many a times it would be given probability p also will be given to you. Okay, so you need to consider this p as well while solving the problem. So that's why p is given to you. So in general, this could be said that this is a general way of representing a payoff matrix. Okay, where states of nature is there, decision alternatives are there, ABC decision alternatives, PQ are the states of nature, P is the different probabilities, and this square is the payoffs for ABC and PQR corresponding. Okay, so these are the payoffs. So these are the steps. So, okay, problem is there next. So I don't think I'll be able to finish it in 10 minutes, or this is a particular thing. This is the first problem where I need to explain you much. Okay, so we'll take this particular problem in the next class. We'll stop for today. Okay, we'll take this in the next class. Okay, okay, students, take care. Any doubts still here? Anyone? So before we close off, any doubts for you? Yeah, students, any doubts? Can you hear me, students? Yeah, am I audible to you all, students?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, any doubts?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, fine. Then you can just go through it once. Those like you have written most of the things. Okay, so go through it. Then be prepared. In the next class, we'll start with the problems. Okay. Okay, students. Bye. Take care.